There we go. Okay.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure that there's going to be lots of people trickling in. I see, yeah, lots of people in the waiting room. So I'm going to be letting people in. And before we introduce Mo, I want to talk to you guys. I know Carrie just did like a brief introduction of what the Growth Collaborative is. But Carrie and I, we joined forces a while back. And like she said, we have been, growth, both personally and professionally, has always been a priority for both of us. And so we made this organization, not just for our downline and our upline, but really for everybody in this community to participate in. And what we really focus on is really adding value by bringing our core values to you. So every single month, we have a growth collaborative call, what we call the growth masterclass, really. And this is a third Thursday of every month. And we really want to focus on wealth building and financial mastery. What does it mean to really own wealth and have a healthy relationship with money? Because wealth is more than money, right? So we talk about what it means to master finances. We also talk about health and wellness, personal and professional development and growth. And then, of course, being at EXP, we also want to make sure that we're talking about strategic client acquisition and how we can create long-term lasting relationships, not just with our clients, but our agents, right? Because our agents are also our clients, and how we treat each other and build those long-term relationships. So without further ado, I want to introduce you all to Margaret Smith. And I call her Mo. Our close friends call her Mo. Mo is an incredible intuitive coach. She is the founder and CEO of I Love It When LLC. She is a speaker. She is the host of the I Love It When podcast. She is a former real estate director of operations for a team in Washington. And in this role, she did what many of us do in operations, which is wear many hats, right? She focused on recruiting, screening and hiring, marketing, PR, client events, culture, podcast production, right? The list goes on. Really, she's on a mission to help humans to step into their authentic selves and become the authentic leaders that they already are. She's extremely passionate about what she does. In fact, she is probably one of the most relentless women, fierce female leaders that I know. She is an advocate. She's an artist, a cheerleader, a strategic thinker, and she really wants to help admin burst open through the industry and help them grow themselves, both personally and professionally. So, Mo, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited to host this with you and create this platform to help all of us really to just step into an elevated version of ourselves.
Totally. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. This is one of my favorite topics. So when you guys asked me about health and wellness, I was like, absolutely. I'm all about it. Thank you all for everybody that's here as well. Please, I would love for you to put your cameras on, because this is going to be an interactive 45 minutes that we have together. So I'm going to be asking questions and asking for your participation. And I'll tell you a little bit more about myself as we get going, but really today is all about you. And your presence today on this call is very much valued. Presence is one of the most precious things we can give to people. It's one of the most valuable things we can give. And right off the bat, I want to ask, has anybody ever read any of Anise Kavanaugh's work? Raise your hand if you have. I'll put her name in the chat box. So Anise Kavanaugh is someone I'm going to mention today quite a bit. She does a lot of work around energy. She used to train Olympic athletes, and she has a degree in, I think it's kinesiology. I always say it wrong. And so she was helping them train and get physically prepared to go out and run their races or do whatever they were doing. And she realized that the folks that won and came back with the gold medals, there was something else besides just their physical body that was helping them get to that place of winning. And she realized it had something to do with their presence. And so she wrote a book, couple books, one called Contagious Culture, that's all about how to help you build a community of present human beings. And then another one called Contagious You, where she helps you take a really deep dive into becoming more aware of your presence that you bring, even on Zoom. So one of the things I love about her is she has done the research data that I talk about a lot in a lot of what I do. So for instance, one of the things she shares is that 93% of the impact you make is because of your presence. It's not actually even the words that you say, it's the presence that you bring. And when someone's not paying attention to you, whether you're on a Zoom call or in person, you can actually feel that, and it causes you stress. So when we don't pay attention to someone that we're speaking to, we're actually causing the person physical stress. And so that kind of data is stuff that I love to bring to this, because self-care has a lot to do with all the itty bitty little things between all the big things that happen in our lives. So I want to actually start out today with a short 3-minute meditation. So wherever you're at, if you have no meditation experience or if you have a ton, either way, you're good. I want you to get comfortable, and you can sit on the ground. I usually actually prefer to sit on the ground when I meditate. And this is a short 3-minute guided meditation. So all you need to do is listen to what she's saying and go along with it. All right. So get yourself comfortable in a place where you can relax, feet on the floor. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, you might have to make me a co-host.
Okay, let me make you a co-host.
Okay. Anybody use the app Insight Timer? Raise your hand if you do. Okay, it's freaking amazing, you guys. You got to check it out. I'll write that in the chat box too.
I used it last night. It's amazing, you guys. If you do not currently have this app, you absolutely need to get it. And Mo, I forgot to tell you, I downloaded a tapping app last night too. So if you are interested in tapping, they have these apps, you guys, where you can meditate, do tapping. I
love that. And we're going to talk about tapping today. So thank you for saying that. So Insight Timer, I was first turned on to meditation through Miracle Morning, and I was very resistant to it. I had the book up on my shelf, and if you know the Miracle Morning, it's about getting up at 5 a.m. I thought you had to do the 5 a.m. rule, and I just didn't want to do that. So I didn't look at it forever. And then finally I got to the point where I was like, okay, something needs to change in my life. And so if I want something different, I've got to do something different. So I pulled the book off the shelf, and that started my relationship with meditation. Meditation does not mean sitting in a corner with total silence and your mind completely blank. That's one of the first things I like to share with people that you might learn from another meditation teacher, is that if your mind is busy with a whole lot of things going on, you are doing meditation right. Because meditation helps you to become aware of what is running through your mind. So this is just going to be 3 minutes, but I'm going to share my screen and make sure that you guys can hear the sound all right. All right, so get comfy. And give me a thumbs up if you can hear that all right. Okay.
Arriving into the present moment. No yesterday, no tomorrow, no today. Just right now, in this present moment. Taking a moment to notice your body and its sensations, the beating of your heart, the rising and falling of your stomach. Arriving right here, right now, in this present moment. Placing our attention on the breath. On the inhale, noticing the way the cool air rushes in through our nostrils, down our throats, and into our lungs. And on the exhale, following the breath as it leaves. With every in-breath, we welcome stillness, and every out-breath, releasing tension. Taking 3 breaths together, slowly and deeply inhaling, and taking your time on the exhale, letting it all go. Noticing what it's like to notice, what it feels like to be here in this moment. Maybe resistance comes, the mind wanders, the internal chatter gets louder. Returning to the breath, slowly and deeply inhaling, and taking your time on the exhale, letting it all go. No judgment, no shame, just right now. There's no place you need to be, only here in this present moment. Breathing in, I am here. Breathing out, I am present. Returning back to the room, we become present to our bodies and our breath, becoming present to sounds and sensations, inviting movement back into our limbs, noticing the fingers and the feet, taking a little stretch, and when you're ready, opening your eyes.
All right, so I'm going to bring us back here. If anybody joined us while we were in the midst of meditation, welcome. I'd love to ask for everybody to turn their camera on for this because it's going to be an interactive experience for the next half hour. How did that meditation feel for those of you that were here? Feel free to unmute yourself and share, or you can put it in the chat box.
It was almost like I was able to reset my day and kind of put behind what I was doing before this meeting and just kind of help me, refocus and be more present for this meeting, because I still had like things that I haven't finished from the morning, and it's never done. And
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Laura said powerful. Violet said present. Jason said much needed. Yeah, Jason needed a pause in your day. Yeah. Anybody feel anything interesting in their body or different? Notice anything?
I definitely became more aware of like my breathing. Like I could actually feel my shoulders and like relaxing with my out breathing. So that was something that was
cool.
Nice to be aware of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you, Violet. Laura said feel rested. Okay. Yeah, so I always like to take the time, and as you guys will notice throughout today for the next 30 minutes, that I have no problem waiting a moment or two and being in silence, waiting for somebody to speak up. I just find that oftentimes we don't slow down enough to really notice what it is that we're experiencing. And that's a big part of meditation, is slowing down enough to begin to notice what your body's trying to tell you. And that's kind of the essence of this class today, is that I truly believe, as an entrepreneur myself, that we have to slow down in order to speed up. And I don't know about you guys, but I would much rather take one step and reach my goal than 10 shuffles to get there. And I find that a lot of people are just churning, putting out all of this energy, working so many hours, and burning themselves out. Whereas if you slow down enough to actually listen to your body, it will tell you what to do next. It's a really interesting experience. And oftentimes the thing it will tell you to do is the thing that might have a little bit of fear associated with it. So we don't often want to take that step because it might be, we have to face a limiting belief, or we have to face some sort of fear, or we have to have a hard conversation with someone, or we have, like, there's something there. And so, but that step that we could take is what would get us that much closer, that much faster. So Haley gave me a great introduction, and so I'm not going to spend that much more time on myself, but I am a coach and consultant. I live just north of Seattle, Washington in Everett, and I'm super passionate about the human potential. And I run retreats and workshops that are all about personal growth and spirituality. And so this is completely my jam. I have found that for more peace and fulfillment in my life, this is what I have needed and what I have never been taught in school, in trainings, and all. It's also just always more hustle, grind. And I was not satisfied with that. I wanted to do it a different way. And so that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. So for the next half an hour, I want you guys to give yourselves permission to do something. This is a Brene Brown exercise, and any of the things that I show you today or we talk about today, you can utilize every day in your life. And I highly recommend that you do. So the permission slip is, what are you going to give yourself permission to do for the next half an hour? I work with a lot of busy executives and operations staff. And so an example would be, I give myself permission to not look at my phone for the next 30 minutes. I give myself permission to not check my email while I'm here. Your presence, again, the time that you have dedicated to show up here and be present, that means a lot to me, and it means a lot to yourself. And so go ahead and share your permission slip in the chat box, or unmute yourself and feel free to share, please, because I love hearing about what people are doing to give themselves permission. And I use this myself throughout my day. So like if I'm going to lunch with someone, I say, I give myself permission to be completely open with this person, or I give myself permission to be vulnerable and share something I normally wouldn't, but really want to. Haley says, I give myself permission to not look at email or workplace. Nice.
And I'm sweating
And you're
as I
sweating?
say that.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else want to share what their permission slip is? Not going to worry about 2 closings and final walkthroughs and final things I gotta do before the closings. Nice. Anybody having a hard time coming up with their permission slip? Paula, are you? You gave it a long time ago. Okay. You gave it a long time ago, like in your life, or?
No, just today. Some crazy stuff just went down today.
Okay.
I had a property break-in, so that
Okay.
just set the mood.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here with us. Hopefully we can bring you some peace.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Elena, no mom guilt, at least for the next 30 minutes. I love that. I love that one. All right. I want to ask if 2 or 3 of you will share, why did you choose to show up today? Why did you choose to be present for this particular little webinar?
I made a goal for myself last month to start being more purposeful with engaging in more growth mindset activities, and just being more conscious of the fact that I am never arriving, or just should never feel that complacency of just being like, oh, things are going well, so you get complacent. So I just always really wanted to make sure that I'm very mindful of putting myself in positions and scheduling things like this type of activities to continue to work on myself and grow my business.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to share? Oh, Elena says, Carrie and Haley are the reason. When they say I need to be somewhere, I got to show up because I want to be like them when I grow up. That's amazing. I love that.
Thank you, Elena. I love you. You're so amazing.
Oh, Laura, we've met. Okay, yeah, excited to meet with Mo again. Okay. All right, well, thank you guys. Because a big part of this too is your intention. So if you set goals, I know goals are talked about a lot in the real estate industry. I actually prefer intentions. Intentions are extremely powerful. So when you go into something, I like to set an intention before a meeting, before I go into the next part of my day, whatever it might be, but it's kind of like giving myself permission, but my intention is what I want to get out of it. What feeling do I want to bring to myself? And so my intention for you guys today is to give you a pattern interrupt, to give you something that can help you maybe recognize something in yourself that you want to shift, and then give you a couple tools and ways to help move you forward in that. So that's my intention for you today. And to start off with, I want to do an activity that requires a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a big one, but 8.5 and 11 by if you have it. And we're going to do kind of a process for identifying where you might be leaking some energy. So I believe that with self-care and with adding things into your life that you know will benefit you. I have found that we are just pushed by society to do, more, add, all the things. And we never actually look at what do we do to create space? What can we do to actually move things off of our plate? Because energy can neither be created or destroyed. It can only be moved. So before we talk about anything you can add into your life, I actually want to talk about what can we take out of it. So to start off with, on this piece of paper, I want you to draw a colander. And don't worry, I'm going to share my screen. So I think how did I not even leave it up? You know, a colander like you have in the kitchen where you like wash out your veggies. One of these guys. Do your best, because I know you all are professional artists. Draw a colander on your piece of paper. And I want you to think about what is it in your life that drains your energy. And all around that colander, I want you to list out anything and everything that is draining your energy. And if you're not sure what that is, when you think about an activity, when you think about a person, when you think about a conversation you need to have, when you think about a bill, when you think about a mess in your house, when you think about a person, place, thing, or whatever, does it make you feel heavy and like, ugh, or does it make you feel light and joyful and happy? Anything that kind of drags you down, I would consider to be something that might be possibly draining your energy. It's not giving you energy, it's actually taking away. It's a have to or a should. I should do this, I should do that. We don't want to be shoulding our way through life. I forgot who came up with that phrase, but it cracks me up every single time. We don't want to be shoulding. So think about people, places, a job, a mess in your house you want to clean, a bill you don't want anymore, a conversation you need to have, something in your closet that you want to get rid of. Think about all aspects of your life. And when you think of that, it brings you a heaviness. And write all of those things down around the colander. Just start, I'm going to give you about the next 3 to 5 minutes to just free write things that come to your mind that feel heavy energetically. All right. If anybody has any questions, feel free to unmute and just ask them. So make sure you think about all aspects of your life, not just the professional, but the personal as well. People in your life, things. And as you start to name these and identify these different energy leaks, I want you to, on a scale of 10, 1 to 10, with 10 being an absolute energy vampire, meaning it sucks all the life out of you, I want you to rank each of these things from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest energy suck. So start going around the different items of your colander and identifying which one drains you the most. All right, and because we have a small enough group here today, rather than break us up into partners, I just want to have us share with the group here, what are 2 or 3 of your items that are at the top of your list? If you're comfortable sharing those, if anybody wants to unmute and share, what are the top 2 or 3 things that are just sucking the energy out of you? That's like a total leak.
I'll start.
Thank you, Paula. Yes.
Driving, number 1.
Driving, okay.
That's I swear my whole day just goes driving, or I just start early and then I'll be done by 5 and be like, wow, did my day just pass by driving? It's crazy. And then doing dishes.
Okay.
And then calls, because I can't answer all my calls at the same time. I get so many calls. So I feel like if I don't answer everyone's calls, I'm like, oh my God, now they think I didn't pick up their call, and I just start overthinking it. Then I'll lay down
Yes.
in the middle of the night and like, I didn't call so and so. And then the next day I won't have time to call so and so either. So that's my
Okay.
biggest
I
thing.
love these examples. And is driving mostly or all related to real estate?
Yeah, all of them except for like well, I don't know, doing the dishes.
I totally feel you on the dishes there. I feel the same way. Okay, so those are your 3 biggest energy sucks. Does anybody have any ideas on how Paula could address some of these energy leaks? What could she do to relieve and feel differently about some of these? Because we know we got to do the dishes, but what could we do about the driving or the dishes or the calls to start to relieve some of that?
I'm usually listening the books when I'm driving.
You're usually doing
Or
what?
I'm usually listening to books,
Oh,
or
listening to books. Okay.
yeah, when I'm driving, this really helps. Kind of takes your mind away from the road.
Okay.
As for the dishes, she can call me. I love doing dishes. You can come and help.
Yes.
This is my therapy.
I love it.
I'll cook. You
I
can
was
do
going
the
to say
dishes.
for the dishes, there's a book, or it's a quick read, Zen and the Art of Mindfulness. And that's really how I got over my dish phobia, was just like actually learning to be present, to like feel the bubbles on your hands and like,
Oh, wow.
taking in the smells that like as you clean, and like it be, being present for those types of things that we consider taxing chores, kind of looking for more or less the gratitude, and then being present for that gratitude. That was like a huge game changer for those kind of things for me. So now I don't necessarily hate washing the dishes. I can't necessarily say I'm like lining up early in the morning, but it's definitely something that, instead of saying, wow, like I hate washing dishes, laundry for me was always the one. And so I'm using that practice, being able to say, I'm grateful for the clothing that I have. I'm grateful that I get to fold my children's tiny socks and things like that. So that, you get to see the little like warm fuzzies and things like that. That means that there's like life happening. And so that was just a really good mental switch for me for those chores.
Thank you, Violet.
Thank you.
Paula,
That
I
was
don't know,
good.
do you live by yourself, Paula?
No, I live with my husband, but
Okay.
good thing we don't have to worry about laundry. But because my mom, she comes and cleans, I pay her to come clean every 2 weeks, so we just let the laundry stack by then. But for the dishes, that's a constant thing when you have to cook. So, but that made sense. What she said, I'm gonna try to connect to it.
Well, that was going to be my next question too, was do you have somebody that comes in and cleans and helps you with that, relieving some of the other pieces? Because a big part of what I talk about too is leverage, and thinking about, as a real estate agent, breaking down what your hourly rate is. So whatever your average commission is monthly, breaking that down to an hourly rate, and then anything that's under that hourly rate is what you leverage out. And so if you already do that, then I would say also like talking about a plan with your husband and your partner about something where there's like, where it feels like the dishes take on a different kind of energy. Because if it is in your top 3, I would say that's a pretty high priority. And the other thing too that came to mind when you talk about driving, if it's mostly real estate related, I would start looking, and I don't know what your situation is if you're a single agent or a part of a team, but I would start looking at how can you leverage out some of those runner tasks? What could you do to alleviate yourself from having to be in the car all of the time?
That's a good one. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for offering up your top 3. Anybody else want to share their top 3? Elena? Yeah.
I think for me, it's kind of twofold. One is not having a structure because I do not have a dedicated office environment, or I don't have the right environment where I can work. And because of that, it's the people that are closest to me that are my energy sucks. Is my husband, the kids, and my mom when she's here. So it's hard to admit that, but I need to be better at distinguishing and separating life or family from work, not to be fully present at work and fully present with family. And
No, thank you for sharing that. I think it's really hard sometimes for people to admit when the people that we're closest to might be an energy suck on us. And it doesn't mean that it's that you don't love them. And it might not actually be them. There might be something else around your work environment, in your home environment, that you can shift so that you don't feel that way. So thank you for sharing that. That's a big deal.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because me too, I'll be completely transparent and vulnerable. I love my children so much. And being a stay-at-home mom for 7 years was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I would rather go through multiple C-sections or having my wisdom teeth removed than having to also be a stay-at-home mom, because even though I was really good at it, I got into such a dark place because I wasn't contributing in this world the way that I needed to. And it took me a very long time to admit that to myself and not feel guilty.
Yeah, thank you both for sharing that. And thank you, Pam, too, for sharing in the chat box. I know we only have about 10 minutes left, right? Till 10:45? Okay, my 10. So part of the reason why I had you guys do this is obviously we can only do so much in about 45 minutes. I do this activity for myself on a monthly basis. And I don't really have a rhyme or reason as to when I do it, but I am constantly evaluating my energy and where I'm feeling drained. Because what I'm starting to realize, I'm about 2 years and 2 months into owning my own business. I left my job at Pickett Street in July of 2020, right after COVID started. And I left with only enough money to last me about a month and a half. And I say that to share that with you guys because I am beginning to understand that the more I focus on my energy and how I spend it, how I choose to spend it, and how I choose to preserve it, the more abundance I see. It's crazy and not crazy. It makes so much sense to me because money is an energy. Abundance is an energy. Everything is made of energy. And so I do this activity on a monthly basis to ensure that I'm not expending energy, especially for me being a former people pleaser. I don't want to expend energy on people that are not being reciprocal, that are not reciprocating in my friendship, professional relationship, personal relationships, family included. And so making this space has freed up. It's hard. I have to sit on my hands sometimes because I'm a doer. I was a director of operations for a very busy team. And I also taught classes around the US and did a podcast. I like to be busy. But I realized I was not making any abundance for myself, not just monetarily. I was constantly making abundance and making everybody else, I thought, feel good, which left me depleted. So one of my favorite things to remember, and I hear this constantly in a lot of Oprah's videos, is that it's not, our job is to keep our cup overflowing. The overflow is what we give away. What's in the cup is ours. We're supposed to have a full cup. So the overflow, when you have more than you know what to do with, that overflow piece is what you give to your kids, to your family, to your coworkers, to your clients. And that took me a long time to understand. But that's what I'm diving into now personally on my journey, is realizing that energetically, I need to make sure that I'm feeling aligned and I'm feeling good. And I only say yes to things I really want to say yes to. And that frees up a hell of a lot of space for more of my ideal clients, more abundance, more peace, more fulfillment. A happier Margaret, a happier Mo brings a totally different presence to my life. So in the last few minutes here, I just want to share a couple of things with you guys that I do when I have moments of stress come up during the day. as I'm taking this journey. It's not an easy journey. It's not an easy journey to say no to people that I love. It's not an easy journey to say no to my aunt, even though I love her dearly, but when I spend time with her, all she does is complain and does not add any value to my life. And so it's really difficult to do these things. And that's why I'm saying, when you choose this journey, right, you choose this journey of self-care and personal growth, it's not an easy one. Often the decisions that you have to make or the choices you have to take action on, you don't want to, so you don't do it. You go shuffle around and take those 10 steps instead of the one. So there's a couple things that I do. I'm just gonna name them, and then I wanna actually do one of them before we leave. Shake. If anybody's ever done shaking, you can Google, by the way. I'm not an official practitioner of any of these things. I've learned them all myself through books and YouTube. You can literally shake your body all over, jump up and down to move the energy out of your body. So when you're feeling a certain way, when you're feeling stress, anger, resentment, it literally sticks to parts of your body and it can make you ill. When I learned this, I was like, oh my God, mind freaking blown. So you can literally shake 30 seconds, a minute, whatever you do. I usually do this in the morning if I wake up and I'm not feeling totally aligned. You can dance, same thing, movement. You can breathe. So we did a little bit of that today in the meditation. One of the things I love to do occasionally between sessions with clients is box breath. So breathing in 4 counts, holding it for 4 counts, breathing out for 4 counts. And then the one that we've done today is meditation. And the other one that I want to try today with you guys is EFT tapping. How many people have heard about EFT tapping? Okay. I started doing this just in the last 8 months or so. And again, I'm not an EFT practitioner, but it makes total sense to me. And the part that I want to share with you guys is that subconsciously, we all have beliefs and values that have been ingrained in us and literally wired into our neural pathways in our brain by how we were raised, the people we were around growing up. We were conditioned by not only our family and friends, but by Western society if you grew up in the US. And so EFT tapping gets at those subconscious beliefs that we're not even aware of and starts to help you rewire what you want to put in place. So I'm just going to show you one example that you can do right off the bat. And after this, I suggest if you want to learn more, go to YouTube and check out, like I follow Haley Hoffman Smith. She's that's not all that she does. She's a coach, but she learned from, I think her name is Tiffany Johnson. And so I like Haley's videos on YouTube because they're very easy to follow. But you basically are tapping, literally tapping with your fingers on meridian points on your body. And meridian points are basically points in your body where energy runs. So you have this point on the side of your hand, could be the left or the right side of your hand. You have the top of your head. You have the point right between your eyebrows. You have the point on either side of your eyes. You have the point underneath your eyes, underneath your nose, right above your chin and below your mouth, and then on your collarbone, and then below your arm about 4 inches underneath your armpit right there. So I'm going to give you an example of one that I would do, and you just follow along with me, and you can repeat out loud after, say what I say. I'll wait, I'll say it, and then you guys follow, you get me? So on the side of your hand, they call this the karate chop. I want you to take your 4 fingers, and you just start tapping there. Today I'm going to tap about anxiety. So even though I feel anxious, and you guys would say that, even though my stomach hurts, even though I don't know what's going to happen next, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel anxious, start on your head, even though I don't know what's going to happen next, even though my stomach hurts and I feel angry, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And I know that everything's going to be okay. I know that I'm going to have more money than I know what to do with. And I know that I'm right where I'm supposed to be. Even though I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling so anxious, even though my stomach is upset, even though I really don't know what's going to happen next, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So you tap through all these points. And when you get to the end here, usually what I do is squeeze my wrist After I say for the last time, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Take a breath and then release. And so the goal here is to get yourself to a different place. And so at the beginning of that, the part that I skipped is on a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious are you? Or how angry are you? Or how, whatever the feeling is, say what it is. So like, let's say I said I was like an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. The goal is to work myself down to like a 2, like a 1 or 2. And so you would go through as many rounds as you need to until you feel yourself get down to that level 2 that you feel is right. And that is something that I've started to do and tap on. Some subconscious limiting beliefs around money for me is a big one, because my parents were paycheck to paycheck. And so I know I have subconscious beliefs about what's possible with money. And then anxious feelings around that. And then anything having to do with people pleasing and following my own path. So you can literally build new neural pathways in your brain with EFT tapping. So I highly recommend checking that out. It's been really, really helpful for me. All right, in the last 2 minutes that we have, I know this is a lot to pack in. What's something that you guys feel you're going to take away from today and try? Or maybe what's an aha that you had about something in your life that's sucking more energy than you realized?
Thank you, Mo, so much. Oh, sorry,
Go ahead.
Haley.
No, totally go ahead, Pamela.
So I so, the full cup is for us, the overflow is for others. I mean, that's a quote to put around. And thank you for the resources, the author, and now Haley on EFT. So look it up. Thank you. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just had a question, Mo, about the exercise with the colander. Is the colander, like, are we supposed to do anything else with that? Like, or is the colander just a representation of what is being sucked from us?
Yeah, it's a representation of energy leaks. So
Oh, energy leaks. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
energetically, we have an energy body around us, around our physical body. And when we have energy leaking, that means we have less energy to put towards what we truly and really want. And so when you find yourself spreading yourself too thin, that's why whatever it is your intention is, whatever you're trying to build, if it's your business, if it's some specific intention you have for your life, you may not see that growing as much because your energy is going 700 different directions rather than one. Yeah. Thank you all for your presence today.
Thank you, Mo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mo. And you know what? Before we leave, I do want to just put your website, and I had it up and then I pulled up Haley Hoffman Smith to put in here.
Yeah.
So let me just put I want to, if anybody is interested in learning more about what Mo does, she also does consulting. She does coaching. I mentioned that. You already put it in here. Okay. I was copying and pasting it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, please, you guys visit her website because like I said, she does this podcast. She also comes in as a consultant on her website right now. If you guys have an admin, Mo also leads BU, the Inner Circle, which I'm part of and also co-leading with her for admin. So there's a lot that she's doing. I'd love for you guys to go in and just check out the things that she's doing because it's really amazing how she can help you level up your business.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mo. Thank you everyone for watching. This will be on YouTube and it will always be in Workplace and EXP Family Tree.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks, Mo. Thanks, Haley.
Have a good day.
Of course,
Thanks, Haley.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.